Well, a very big hello from Australia. My name is Kim Warner and I am the Chief Financial Officer for Harcourts International Limited. We are a global real estate franchisor and I'm really excited to share a little bit about our journey so far with Domo. Now, I will talk a bit about franchising specifically, but a lot of what I cover is applicable to any large dispersed group or of stores or networks. Our Domo journey began 3 years ago when I joined Harcourts and asked one simple question: how profitable are our franchisees? Coming from 15 years working in different franchising groups, being able to answer this question is absolutely crucial because profitable franchisees are engaged franchisees. Engaged franchisees deliver better customer service, which leads to repeat business, which grows revenue, and obviously in turn delivers improved profits. With a network of over 900 franchisees operating in 9 countries, selling $40 billion worth of real estate each year, this was always going to be a challenging question to answer. And clearly the only way was to leverage technology to ensure that we could collate, analyse and visualise the data associated with franchisee performance. So I started talking about data with our leadership team and we focused on 3 key outcomes we wanted to achieve with the data transformation project. So growth was about retaining our existing franchisees and attracting new operators by providing them with a mobile solution to manage their business. By managing their business through our franchise support model, we would have access to the data that would enable our operations team to provide focused support and enable our franchisees to focus their energy on the priorities that would contribute the most to their profitability. And in return, increased franchisee profitability and growth through our network helps to deliver ongoing franchisor profitability, which enables better decision-making and a reinvestment in our value proposition, and ultimately providing more support and more benefit to our franchise network. This would be the ultimate win-win for all parties involved. And it's absolutely core to the business model of franchising that we have a successful and sustainable model that benefits both the franchisor and the franchisee. And our goal at Harcourts was to take all of the data that comes from $40 billion worth of real estate transactions and leverage those insights to drive improved behaviours both in our franchisor and in our franchisees and their teams. We wanted to take data that was being displayed in this type of format and we wanted to turn it into this and ultimately even this. So providing a mobile solution for our franchisees that would enable them to run their business, basically give them the data that they really can't work without. But not only did we want to provide tools to our franchise network, we also wanted our operations team to change the conversations and the behaviours that they were displaying when they engaged with our franchisees. So in that case, we wanted to take this, the classic coffee and cake visit, and turn it into a visit where data and authentic conversations are being leveraged between our operations team members and our business owners. And ultimately, turn it into this, where what we're seeing now within our network is that when our operations team members go out and visit a store or an office, they're actually sharing all of the insights with the team that's involved in delivering those results. So, how did we start? Well, firstly, I was actually surprised by how difficult it was to get everyone on the same page. And it took me nearly 12 months to get sign-off to proceed with Domo. And I'm the person as the CFO who actually controls the money. So thankfully, we signed up on day 1 of Domopalooza in 2019. And I guess my first learning from that experience of taking 12 months to get to the point of pressing the button was really that you shouldn't underestimate the fear that people have. When you're trying to deliver a program of work that will lead to better accountability and transparency of information, that can be quite challenging and threatening for a number of people. And a tool like Domo is absolutely brilliant to be able to create the art of the possible. But what I found during that initial 12-month period was really that some individuals, despite what role they had in the organisation, being presented with something that could be potentially exceptionally transformative was actually a little bit of a challenge to accept. So for some individuals where they really just wanted to pitch a Domo as being a solution for visualization, if that's what they needed to get on board with the project, then that's what I talked to them about. And over time, my challenge was to get them across all of the services and all of the value that Domo can provide. Given this nervousness, we decided to start with our sales and productivity metrics and keep things fairly simple so that we were talking to metrics and numbers that our operations team and our franchisees and their teams use every day. So they're metrics that they talk to on a daily or weekly basis. And we wanted to be able to present things in a format that really wasn't too much of a leap for them. And this is where our second learning came into being. And that is that alignment with culture is key. So when you're looking at something that is going to enhance the concept of accountability in an organisation, and particularly a sales organisation, it's really important to undertake a really valid cultural assessment beforehand and understand how you can align that with the behaviours of your people. So if everybody is already moving in one direction and we're about to roll out a transformation project that wants people looking in a different direction, you can expect to have some conflict there. For example, we started really simply with something we call the digital whiteboard. So this is a tool that was designed to replace the manual whiteboards that exist in most sales offices. And they look something like this. And what we wanted to do was replace it and actually develop into something that looks like this. And so far it's been really well received. However, the learning around alignment with culture and the behaviours of our people comes from the fact that we had one specific card that we added onto our digital whiteboard. It's not on the display at the moment, but it was a card that measured our appraisal to listing ratio. So it was a conversion ratio. And this ratio can help highlight if a sales consultant's having a little bit of trouble getting an appraisal, so an opportunity, and converting that to stock or a listing. A key element of our culture is reward and recognition. And as with most sales teams, their ability to remain optimistic and energized can be impacted by negativity. And in some cases, a low appraisal to listing ratio felt like a reprimand rather than an opportunity to improve. And as a result, our sales teams started to avoid entering their appraisals into the system unless they were successful in converting. So it kind of defeated our purpose. And from this learning, we quickly adapted, so agility is key. And instead of our franchisees and sales managers talking to a conversion ratio in group sales meetings, we switched the card around and basically just demonstrated the number of appraisals that each consultant was undertaking. So this at least encouraged the behaviours for our consultants to enter their appraisals into the system. We then took those learnings and applied them so that the one-on-one conversations that a sales manager had with their sales consultants, that included the appraisal to listing conversion, because that was an opportunity for their personal development. So these learnings around, people having a fear of change, which is no surprise for any project, and really aligning to culture, helped us to develop two guiding principles that we use throughout all of our subsequent development cycles. And specifically, our guiding principles cover the fact that anything we built had to be culturally relevant. It had to align with the values of our business, and acknowledgement was really important. And this is where some of the Domo tools, such as leaderboards and alerts when performance or personal bests are achieved, are really crucial to the success of the project. We also wanted to ensure that anything we delivered was meaningful but manageable. So we wanted to start small and we wanted to deliver true value. It was really important that we had faith across the organisation that this was the start of a project that was going to continue to transform over the years to come. So back to our digital whiteboard and where we started. It's now in 600 of our offices, and we are seeing that our business owners or our franchisees are leveraging the data not just for themselves, but they're really sharing it with their teams. Our digital whiteboards really quickly evolved into providing data that the franchisees use with their sales managers when they're having their conversations in relation to growth, and even when our sales managers are having one-on-one performance conversations with their sales consultants. The next step for us is turning the sales and productivity data into additional tools that support these conversations and drive the behaviours that we're looking for. For our franchisees, we'll be taking this data and tying it in with our annual business planning process. And this will give them the ability to be able to assess the actual versus target performance in real time throughout the year. For our corporate team, we're introducing the concept of benchmarking. And so a number of our corporate team members, those who are out in the field supporting our franchisees, have a number of offices that they're responsible for supporting. So the idea of benchmarking is to give them the ability to assess how their groups are performing against other groups, and also to identify any trends that seem to be coming out where there's an opportunity for additional training to be provided to the network. And for our sales consultants and property managers who are working in our franchisees' offices, we want to be introducing for them the ability to benchmark their individual performance against other people within their region or their geography, but primarily against, say, the top 10%. So how do we continue to develop a culture of continuous improvement, but still acknowledging the success of those who are achieving their own targets, but are also slowly making their way up to the top 10 of our entire group? We're at the early stages of our journey, and whilst we've really only started with I guess what I consider some of our basic data, our sales and productivity data, it's obviously data that is fundamental to improving the profitability across our group. But our vision is to be able to link all aspects of activities within our business at a corporate level, and also all activities that happen when you're running a real estate office. I believe that the value that we can provide to our network over the coming years will be how we can assess the interrelatedness and the impact of activity on other aspects of their business. For example, if a sales consultant attends training, the Sales the Harcourts Way, is that really contributing to them improving their customer experience score? Is it driving them to deliver additional revenue? Has it helped them with their appraisal to listing conversion ratios? And so it's that interrelatedness that I think we will start to see the real value come through from Domo. As we develop this suite of tools, our plan at a corporate level is to be able to really monitor the value that is delivered to our network. And ultimately, my goal is to be able to come back and answer that question I asked 3 years ago. Really be able to understand what levers impact profitability, but more than anything, being able to track over, say, a 12-month period, what does the profitability of our group look like and how have they improved over that 12 months? So once again, my name is Kim Warner and I'm the CFO at Harcourts. Thank you very much for watching my presentation, and I hope to be able to update you in 12 months' time with the progress that we've made.